So Google AI actually recommended this book for me to read, The Starlight Heir by Amalie Howard. Google AI, or AI in general, is not 100% reliable, but it did tell me The Starlight Heir is clean. I'm assuming it is anyway, because I typed into the Google search bar, clean books published in 2025, so I hope it didn't lie to me there. It's about it's a YA romantasy book about a bladesmith named Soraya who's summoned to the royal court and discovers she may be the legendary Starkeeper. The story involves a dangerous quest, a forbidden romance with the crown prince's illegitimate half-brother, and a looming threat from a dark god. It's the first in a series. Based on that description alone, 5 stars. Sounds incredibly entertaining. Forbidden romance with the prince's illegitimate half-brother. A looming threat, so there's high stakes right off the bat. A dangerous quest. And she might be the legendary Starkeeper. I wonder how she's summoned to the royal court. So Soraya supposedly has power from the stars. I haven't read a book about that before. The Starlight Heir. So, because she has power from the stars, does that mean she's supposed to be the queen? I don't know. I'm going off on a limb here. According to Goodreads, it has 3.35 stars, and the majority of them are 3 stars. It's definitely a lot lower than I thought it would be. Based on that description, I thought it would be mostly 4 stars. So I wonder if it didn't live up to people's expectations, or if it wasn't just an original idea, if it resembled other books too closely. That's kind of a bummer to see going into a book, but I guess I'll give it a read, and I'll be back with my thoughts. I finished The Starlight Heir. The first fourth of the book, I was absolutely hooked, okay? Totally captivated. It was just like The Selection, but in fantasy form. Soraya gets summoned to the palace, kind of a competition to win the oldest prince's or the crown prince's hand in marriage. And I guess it's just the slow burn that gets me, along with the secrets that are being kept from Soraya at the beginning. So I was completely hooked for the first fourth of the book. Loved it. And then as you go on, it kind of tapers off and gets less interesting. The description mentioned that she goes on a quest, and she does go on a quest. I guess I just struggle with books with quests because there's action, but it just doesn't have the oomph that the first fourth of the book had. It also did not take long for spice to be introduced, which was a huge bummer. Google lied to me. It said there wasn't any explicit content in this book, and there definitely is. There was one scene that I had to keep flipping through those pages to skip, and I hate that because sometimes they say something important in the middle of you know what, and I don't want to pan back and read that, so I just skip everything. But it was quite explicit, so I can't even remember which chapter it was to warn you guys about. But just know there's a scene in there that if you don't like spice, you're gonna have to skip. Actually, there's another scene in there you're gonna have to skip, and it was near the beginning of the book too. Language, yep, 100% there. There's a lot of F words dropped. I was also very disappointed in that. So be prepared for that if you want to read this book. Romance, yep, it's definitely there. So is the spice. I guess I shouldn't say I was kind of annoyed, but I know how slow burn works, but it just felt like Soraya mostly was lusting after Prince Roshan, and it wouldn't feel like true love. I guess it kind of did near the end of the book, but it mostly just felt like lust, which is not good for a healthy relationship. I hated the Crown Prince with all my heart. If you read it, you'll find out why. He was the worst, and I wish he just would have died from the get-go. There's my rating system for reference. I would rate this book 3 stars. Mostly 3 stars for the first part of the book. The last half of the book was a little bit harder to finish because it kind of got a little bit more boring. Sure, there were plot twists thrown into there, but the spice and the lusting was very distracting. So was the F word. I liked how the competition to win the crown prince's hand was unique. There was a certain scene that involved a lot of action that I'm not going to spoil. That was entertaining. I like Prince Roshan. I feel like he was written well and he had a good character development. Kind of feel like Saraya doesn't deserve him because she does certain things that make me want to punch her in the face. But she turned out all right in the end. I wish this book was a little bit more unique. It kind of was like copy and paste certain elements from other books, which is kind of how most books are. I wanted it to be more of an original idea, and that sounded really promising when she had like the star power because she's the star keeper. But it just didn't turn out the way I hoped it would. It was a little bit more on the boring side. I kind of wish she would have unleashed her power more, which I guess she did, but I mean, it's that trope where she's like, I'm so powerful and I'm so scared to use it. Like, girl, use it for something. You can't be afraid forever. If heavy spice and heavy language doesn't bother you, then I'd recommend reading this book just to see what the hustle and bustle is about it. But if you don't like those things and they bother you, then steer clear of this book. Thanks for watching. If you read The Starlight Heir, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next video.